Hello, stamping friends. This is Jenny, and it's Monday, time for a Facebook Live. I hope everyone had a fabulous weekend. I think we did. I don't really remember what we did. Just regular stuff, you know. Of course, we've been enjoying watching Emily in Paris, so that's been kind of a fun part of our day. We've space it out so we do watch one a night. That's our guilty pleasure right now. It's the silliest show ever, but it's still kind of fun. So today you'll see that I have Cheerful Daisies out, and it's an older stamp set. Still current though, and it has, you know, everybody loves daisies and cone flowers, and this is one of those. But I wanted to give you a little sneak peek of a new product that's in the upcoming catalog that will start in September. Let's see. I don't even have, well, I do have a copy of it, but my desk is so messy you can't see it. So I'm not sure what the date is in September. But anyway, so this is called Splendid Autumn Designer Series paper. And this will look familiar. You know, we had Meandering Meadow and Incredible Journey, or Thoughtful Journey. I don't know. I don't remember the garden one. But this is for fall. And so I pulled out one of each sheet so you could see it. Isn't that pretty there? There's our daisies. That's what we're going to use. It's got wild wheat on the back. This is kind of reminds me of Vermont or Connecticut up there in the fall. I hear some wild wheat or seagrass. Some blue. Look at those pretty trees. Fall foliage. Crushed curry, I think. Another one with just a path. Pretty blue. Can you see using? I hope this is giving you some ideas. That's pretty, isn't it? It's kind of a cherry cobbler. This looks like Queen Anne's lace, maybe. I love this one. I've already got one put to the side because I'm going to use it. Oh, lots of, let's see what's on the back. Yeah, lots of pretty things that this paper does the heavy lifting for you. Yes, Mary, this paper is pretty. It is really pretty. So let's get started. I am doing I think it's called a corner fold card. I'm not sure I have ever made a card with this fold, and it's not very hard. It's certainly a pretty common card that other people make. But when I saw this, I thought, well, I think we can use that with the daisy paper. So I need a 4-inch wide piece of this paper. Let's see, I've got that upside down. And so we're gonna, I want this part of it. We'll save the piece we cut off. We can use for a whole nother card or a bookmark, or put on the inside of your card, however you choose. So we wanted this 4 by 5 1/4. I don't know that we'll save that piece. And that will start. Now we want to put our corner fold, so we're going to measure down 2 inches here. So I'll put a pencil mark there. And then we will score from that 2-inch mark to the corner. And then that'll give us our corner fold. Now, this I think is pretty enough that I don't need another piece of paper there, but if you wanted, you know, a different color here, you could just cut a little triangle to cover that up. I like that color, so we're just going to stick with it. Now this then will become part of our card front. This white is also 4 by 5 1/4. So I want to put a daisy right here. So I'm just going to bring this down a tiny bit and draw a line so I know where the daisy, because my pencil's not drawing very good today. They would push that out. So I know where my daisy needs to go. And then we're just going to stamp a little daisy there. Now let's see, we'll start with, these are 2-step stamps. So we have the outline stamp and the filler stamp. And so I'm going to use crushed curry and Daffodil Delight. We'll put those here. You could use a little lemon lolly if you wanted to. I've got all these stacked up here. So the crushed curry is going to be our outline. Well, hi Nancy. Thanks for joining us today. So let's see. I don't want that super dark, so I'm just going to tap lightly. And then we'll do the Daffodil Delight. Is that our filler? Yeah. You have to pay attention to these. Now, you'll notice it's got an angle to it, so just so long as you line your stamp up, it doesn't have to be perfect. Because, of course, these are very sketchy little flowers as it is. And so we can do that. I like that. It gives it a little variation in color there. And I also wanted to add, you see how these kind of are darker in some areas and lighter. So we're going to take our crushed curry and a blender pen, and we're just going to lightly add some color to our daisy. I'm going to put a piece of paper here so that I can make sure I'm not. We're just going to add some little dimension here. Oop. That's okay. I'll slip with a, so it kind of makes it match this paper a little better. Now we need our center there. Close that up. I'll wipe that off real good so I can use it another time. I could have used a water painter, but I thought the blender pen was easier, so I went for easy. Now we'll stamp some leaves here. This is Old Olive. Let's see, I think we'll put that right in. There we go. And we're going to need this again in a minute. Now we need our centerpiece. And for this, I'm using Cajun Craze. I think that color, you know, it's a little purple, it's a little red. You could just do all kinds of color choices there. I'm gonna stamp off a little so it gives it a variation look there. Now that's going to peek out now from our fold. But now we need another daisy to decorate here. So we will do that with that half daisy kind of flower. So it's got 2 steps again. So we'll start with the crushed curry. Got just a scrap piece of paper here. And then our Daffodil Delight. I think my daffodil, it's time to work that ink in on my Daffodil Delight. And we'll put our little center part here. And then we'll add some highlights with our crushed curry again. Using this paper makes, you know, a little bit quicker of a card. And I'm always grateful to get an easy card. Sometimes we all need that easy button. We also need some leaves. We're going to die cut those. Now what's interesting about this set is these match the stamps, but you can also and cut out all 3 of them at the same time. But this one we're only going to cut that little half daisy out. So we will run that through the cut and emboss machine. And then we'll also run a couple leaves. See how that comes out. And then we'll just trim those edges, all those little extra pieces off. Now we have our little half Daisy. Now, if you wanted to put some Wink of Stella on this, they'd look nice and shiny, but I think this paper is a little more rustic than that. Now we need 2 leaves, so let's just run this little section through on a piece of white. That's what all those big scraps are for. There's the veins of the leaf. See if we can get those to pop out now. There we go. Now I wanted these to have more of that variegated color rather than just stamping them. So we're going to use a blending brush and give them a little green tint. And we'll get out our old olive again. You know, you're right, Mary. I always say I'm not going to buy any more paper. I'm going to use the paper I already have. But then when I see new paper, guess what? I have to buy it. But I think as long as we use it, it's okay. Isn't it? Now we're about ready to put our card together. We need a sentiment. And this Cheerful Daisies has wishing you the brightest birthday. I like that. And we're going to die cut it with the countryside corners. Now this set Cheerful Daisies does have a die. It's a little bit bigger than what I wanted. I wanted a little bit smaller for that one. So that's why I chose that. Another piece of scrap here, and we're going to stamp this with Cajun Craze. I like my sentiments darker, if possible. And let's see, I need a fresh piece of this tape. Paper and bling, those are my weaknesses. I mean, as long as you have a good stamp set, you can make it work for with lots of different papers. I think these papers are really good for fun folds because they've got such pretty designs. There's our sentiment. I think we're about done, except we'll have to do the inside in a minute. So we don't even have to get rid of that pencil line because this is going to cover it up. go over. And now we're going to glue this part down. You don't have to, but I think it makes it a little easier to get your elements on there with that glued down. We're going to mount this on some old olive. Just a small little border. This is 4 1/8 by 5 3/8. And then we'll put that on our card base. So just those little layers gives it a little more interest. Put that down. If we can put this away now. We've got our sentiment here. We've got our little bitty cone flower and our half daisy. And we'll just go ahead and, now, you know, I pulled this out. This is Natural Tones linen thread. I thought about putting some behind the sentiment, but I honestly think there's enough going on there. But look how pretty that is. It matches. So another card, we'll use that another time. Sometimes you can put too much stuff on a card. I've been guilty of that. So we want to remember less is sometimes better, more, if that makes sense. You don't want to take away from this pretty paper. Okay, we're going to put that little half daisy on. We're going to cut some little strips because we don't want our dimensionals to show. So you can always use the edges of your dimensional. Don't throw it away. This helps if you have fingernails. Then we'll use a little half mini dot up here. I don't really want them to show through the dots there. And of course you could just glue this down, but I like a little dimension. Now we'll add our leaves. We can glue those down. This is another quick card. We're going to be done and off to another project soon. I've already thought I would use that purple, those purple flowers for something. I'm not sure what yet, but there we go. Now let's put something on the inside. I went ahead and trimmed a little leftover piece. We'll let that go on the side there. You could stamp a daisy here, but I chose just to use this scrap of paper. And then we'll stamp Happy Birthday on the inside. Let's see, I chose Hope Your Day is a Happy One. This is absolutely one of my favorites for the inside of a birthday card. Or it could go on the front, you know. Actually, could be for, doesn't have to be for birthdays, though, does it? Some of our paper trash out of here. Now we got to add some bling. This is some new. It's called Faux Glass Dots. I think that's like pumpkin, maybe wild wheat, old olive. I'm using this. I don't know if it's Cajun Craze or red, but I think it matches here pretty good. So that's what we're going to use instead of the thread. Put a little bit of fun on the card. So there's our card. This is just a corner fold. You could put a different piece of DSP behind there, or you could put your sentiment there. There's all kinds of things you can do with this fold. But I thought it came out cute. And this, you still get the full effect of that beautiful paper. So what do you think? I'd like to see if you try one. If you try this, post one for me to see. Otherwise, I will see you next week. Thanks for popping in today. Bye.